Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Kevin here. I hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. Whenever you guys are watching this, I figured today it would be a little different. It's still wet outside, so I'm not shooting. So I figured we'll talk about staff shooters. It always goes through people's mind at one time or another when you're shooting and you first start out or been shooting for a while, and you start trying to figure out, you start having questions, of course. It's like, you know, should I try to become one? How do I try to become one? Should I try to be one? And then what are, companies looking for in a shooter? So I figured today we'll go through those questions and maybe it'll help some people out. I read it in forums all the time. People is always asking questions about it and everything. So I figured maybe this will help some people out that's logging onto YouTube and trying to find out. Okay, so the first one is, of course, should I become one? Well, really, that's up to you if you want to be one or not, or try to become one. Um, Everyone's different with that. I think that when you're first starting out, you shouldn't even try to become one. That's usually how it is. As soon as you start shooting, you start thinking you're shooting, pretty good. Then all of a sudden, you go to shoots and you see people wearing, shooter form jerseys and stuff like that, and then you're like, oh man, maybe I need to become one and stuff like that. Usually, most of the people that's wearing them are usually wearing them. They're not staff shooters anyways. They're just wearing the jerseys because they want to, because well they see it and they think that you should wear one, so that's what they're doing is wearing one. Um, that's good. I mean, if you want to do that and everything, you usually see them wearing, most of the time as a bow company and everything. But should you be one? No, not really. Not until you get better and everything. My opinion is different with people, with other people. My opinion is to be a staff shooter, you should believe in the product. If it's a bow, you should believe in the bow. If it's arrows or fletchings or whatever, you should believe in those products. Should use them even if you wasn't a staff shooter, you'll still be using them regardless. So that's what I feel about that. The second and third one is how to become one, and how do you become one, and when should I try to become one? How to become one? There's a couple different ways doing it. It's well, of course, one way if you're shooting really good and you're in first place and you shoot nationals and you're up on the leaderboard and you're in the top 10 and everything, then usually sometimes companies will come to you and ask you. But that's that. The other ways is you either go onto their website, and some companies will have a shooter's form for you to fill out and submit to them, and then they'll review it. Someone will review it and see if you are a right fit for the company or not. Okay. The other way is you have to submit in a resume, a shooter's resume, which isn't that hard anyways, or it's not that hard. A resume is usually just like doing a resume for a job out there. Okay. Usually the way you do it is objective or so is what you can do for the company and what you want to do with archery. How to represent the archery community. You put that on your resume, and then of course you put in like shoots that you did for the past year. You don't have to list like 30 shoots or something. Just list recent shoots and put down where they were at, and what place did you place in them and stuff like that. Okay, you can put that in there too. The other thing is you put what is it? You know, like, do you help out at archery ranges, at your local archery range? Are you an officer at the archery range? Do you do like Kids Day? Do you help out with it? Do you put on tournaments for kids, and do you help out with tournaments and set up tournaments and all that? You can put that stuff too, because they want someone. Well, I'm jumping all the way to the last one though, but uh, most companies, or the last question, most companies, they want someone to represent the company in the archery community. They want someone that has a good image. They want someone that goes out to the range, helps out, tries to help the archery community out, and they want someone that knows their company. They know their brand. They shoot it, of course. They believe in it too, and they want someone that that if you're shooting it and you talking to the people at the range or at a tournament, and then someone asks you, hey, why do you shoot that for? And then you can honestly give them an honest answer. Not like, oh, well, it's because this, this, and this. No, you can turn around and actually have a conversation with someone for like 10 minutes on why you shoot those type of arrows, or why do you use those veins for, or why do you shoot that bow over someone else's bow. They want someone that can honestly answer a question to the best of their ability in an honest way and not lie to somebody about it, okay? They also want someone that, when they have a booth open at one of the ASA shoots or at a tournament or something, that you come up there and you're, of course, wearing their jersey or something. You talk to them, and they want someone that will actually, go over there and talk to them, help them out if they need help or anything like that. That's the type of person they want going to a tournament and help out. Okay, they want someone that has a good image like that doesn't bash people or cause scenes at tournaments or anything like that. Okay. Also, with social media nowadays, they want someone that has a good image on social media. That's in the forums and everything else like that, because they're going to ask you that when you do your resume. You put that stuff on your resume too. That your Facebook, your username on Facebook is this, your Twitter, Instagram is this, and if you're in any kind of like Facebook groups or anything like that, Archie Talk, put your users' names down and everything where they can see that. Because believe me, if you're on those groups and everything and you turn around and bash people or bash other companies, they will turn around and take you right off of being a shooter for them, because they don't want that. They don't want that associated with their company, okay? The other thing is if you got to turn in your resume, or you have to submit a resume, but you don't know how to submit it, most of the time you can usually go on Facebook. It's the quickest way to do it. All you do is send a message to that company and say, hey, I love your product. I love using it and everything. And how do I try, or who do I contact, and how do I try to become a staff shooter for your company? Usually they will respond to you in the next day or so, or that day or the next day, and give you an email address to send your resume to and everything. So that's one of the quickest, easiest ways to do it. All right. So also another tip for you, if you want to become one and you're on Facebook or Twitter and you post your photos of your archery, either you winning a tournament or doing a good shot or a good group on a target face or a 3D animal, then tag them, hashtag them, okay, on that stuff. Also, some companies, they do sponsor people that does hunts also. So you can tag your hunts and everything while you're hunting. If you're in a tree stand or something and, you got your bow laid across you and you're shooting, Carbon Express arrows or something, and you take a photo of your bow and everything that shows the Carbon Express logo and stuff like that, and then you hashtag that stuff. Okay. If you take a photo of your kill, please clean the blood up off the animal. Okay, that's I don't know. People don't really like that. Yeah, you just killed your animal with it and you're happy. But if you're going to take a photo of it, clean the blood off of it first where it doesn't look really, really bad. Okay? All right, so that's that part. When should you try to submit um, in your resume, your shooter's form, or when do they start looking for people? Usually, as far as I know, most companies that I know, they start looking for people around September, October, somewhere in there. That's when they start looking for new shooters or extra shooters for the upcoming year. And that's usually around November or so is when they start doing the budgeting for next year too for staff shooters. Also, if you're wondering, a lot of companies they have three different levels of shooters, like arrows and smaller companies. They have they have what is it, bronze, silver, and gold shooters, and you get discounts. And then if you're like pro staff, then of course you get some free stuff or really really marked down prices and stuff. Bows are a little bit harder to come by to get on companies like that since there's so many people that submits uh, resumes in all the time to all the bow companies, of course. It's very, very, very hard to get on them. Some of them actually are downsizing their pro staff also. So, the only way to even get somewhat recognized with bows that I know of is the two companies that I've talked to before. You have to shoot national events and everything for them to even start recognizing you to shoot on their to become a staff shooter. Okay. Another thing is if you're in high school and everything and you're starting to go into college and you're trying to get a archery scholarship to college, read the staff shooters agreement forms before you sign them and everything too, because I've heard where there was problems where people got accepted for a archery scholarship to go to school and everything, but then they got declined because they were a staff shooter, and the staff shooter, the way it was and everything was you were considered a pro. That's what I've heard. So if you're going into college and you're trying to get a scholarship, archery scholarship, then try to read all of your agreement forms and everything with the becoming a staff shooter, because it might hurt you trying to get that scholarship also. So a discount or free stuff is not worth losing out on a couple $1,000 scholarship to go to school. All right, so that's basically it, really. If you guys need if you don't know how to do the resume, I will try to post a resume up on my Facebook page to show you guys, what you can do to make a resume shooter's form resume or a shooter's resume. So until then, take it easy. If you have any comments, put them down below. Just make sure that they're not harsh comments, or they will not get answered, or they will get deleted. So take it easy, be safe, and be good to your fellow archer.